Hello, lovely people. Good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Time is exactly almost midnight. I'm going to be doing a fragrance which I think is very special in my journey. There are certain fragrances I always say if I have any story or history with them. And then, some fragrance I've been hunting for some time. This is one of them. Okay. I've been hunting this down for almost 7 to 8 years since I started my fragrance journey. I have like a story to tell you that is also very important to me, just like the perfume. And this is going to be a special fragrance for me to review. Sometimes you may think special fragrance only means something that's very expensive, uber niche, or super rare. Yeah, it's possible, but sometimes also, sentiments are carried not by, price tag. Sometimes they're carried by, memories, right? So this is one such fragrance for me. I would like to say big thanks to our one of our pages here, Fragrance BD, one of our oldest perfume portals who sell authentic, genuine perfumes from USA. I saw it uploaded in this their like website. I think only they had only one bottle, and this is a 50 ml version. This fragrance is called Zegna Intenso. So the whole name of it, I am a little bit unsure how to say it. It's Hermenegildo Xenia. I think I'm butchering that, but this is the second fragrance I really wanted from this house. Really, really wanted. So let me show you the packaging. I'll spray it, then we'll talk about the history, then we'll talk about the smell, who's it for, longevity and stuff like that, and if it's similar to anything else. So this is the packaging. I found this packaging to be absolutely phenomenal because of certain reason. It's very mysterious. It looks like one of those, I don't know, drapes, what do you call those things, like the window you use. So it's kind of like dark and a little bit of a light. I just love it. It's Italian style. Okay, this is 1.7 fluid ounces EDT concentration. It's shiny. Back there it says some of the information, and I think this is made in France, but this house, I think, as far as I know, is Italian. So the box base, you'll find your batch code, which should match on the bottle. The name of the house. So the smaller bottle, basically bigger bottle, they look all the same. The 100 ml will just be a bigger version of it. Let's take a look at the bottle. Some of you may say this one you don't find anything special, but I do, because I grew up in 80s. We have this certain thing like memories of Knight Rider, if you know the TV series, MacGyver, A-Team. Back in the days, a lot of the cars at the back would have this kind of, at the back rear window, they'll have this kind of like these things to protect yourself from the sun. It looks awesome. So I grew up with that. So this is something I can attach to. And very simplistic looking bottle. I really love it. This is plastic up there. Here is the other information. The name, Zegna Intenso. And when you open it, it looks neat. This is plastic but very solidly built. Atomizer works fine. I was wearing the fragrance there, so let me just do fresh spray, clicks onto place. And I believe this one perhaps has another packaging which they released afterwards, Zegna Intenso. If you go Fragrantica, they will show you a transparent bottle with a kind of like yellow juice. I haven't tried that version, so I'm not quite sure if that is same as this, but the name is there. So they repackaged it perhaps. So one of our brothers, Thomas, told me in the group that he tried finding this, but this is super rare. Is that the case? Is it discontinued? It's a 2007 perfume, and it's about almost like how many years? Almost 2 decades. It's approaching, isn't it? Like almost 15 years plus, right? 15 or how much? Yeah, more than that. So this is not a new release. So the story, let me tell you before I talk about the perfume. I'm going to take my time, okay? Today, this kind of reviews, I'd like to take my time. The story is when I started my journey collection, it was back in Malaysia. I was living there since 97, and I grew up there almost like for 19 years. I stayed there. So it is sort of my second home. My Malaysian friends, they know apa kabar, everyone. So I started, using fragrances back from college days. I used to have Hugo Boss and Lacoste Purom, Polo Blue. This fragrance I used back in the days, but I was not really like a frag head. I used to love perfumes, but 2015 I started watching reviews and I fell in love like crazy, because when I started watching my favorite fragrance reviews, then I'm like, wow, there's another dimension to it. So I started collecting. I became a collector. I used to save up money. I used to have a small burger joint restaurant, so I never used to save up anything. I used to just go work, whatever I make, I save up, and each week or weekend I would go to places like KLCC. Those who live in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. I would go to Sogo or Mid Valley Mega Mall, and there's this used to be a I think still there near airport, Mitsui Outlet Park. So these are the places, or Sunway Putra Mall. These are the places I used to go hunt for fragrances. Jaya Jasco, basically Aeon Big. Whenever I could get a good deal, I would take it. But mostly when you used to buy retail, like so Chanel or Dior, you have to go for like boutiques. So boutiques basically mean full retail, okay? And full retail means maximum price. I used to buy because you couldn't find Chanel's or Dior's anywhere else. But there's another place I used to go. Someone told me, like airport of Malaysia. Like there's two airport in KL. One is called KLIA and KLIA 2. The second one was mostly for domestic flights, I think, AirAsia and all the other ones. Maybe domestic or just for AirAsia. So when they opened KLIA 2, the second airport, there were perfume shops. So I used to have these cravings, just like food cravings, like Harold and Kumar. They used to go for food hunt, right? Like late night burger craving. I would go for sometimes fragrances because their shops would be open until midnight or something like 12 a.m., and they used to have not duty free shop, of course, but they used to have the shops there open. So I would go for something like buying a Lanvin de L'Homme used to be crave. But then KLI2, I went once. I went for, I think, like a food slash perfume slash something like this trip. And one of the shops had this perfume. The moment I laid my eyes on this one, like Zegna Intenso, I knew I loved the bottle. It came in a sort of like maybe tester unit outside, they put in the glass display, or maybe I don't remember clearly. Perhaps it was a gift set or something. I saw this bottle and I wanted it. It was a 100 ml version, but the price was all retail. I did not have that much cash on me, so it was going for about 400 ringgit. So that's like $80 or around like that price tag retail. And I saved up. Next time I went there, it was sold out. So that is the story. And after 7 or 8 long years, I am having this fragrance. So this is a big story, and it's part of the review as well. It's a long story. It took time. So talking about this fragrance, this is fragrance. People call it similar to something like Armani's Code. We can see the same dark theme. And before this, I want to show you proudly, I have my love for Sadar Xenia, that is Xenia's Vomo. Okay, I used to have this big bottle. The juice has gone bad a little bit. Let's keep it as well. So I got a backup of 50 ml, a partial. So this is not my most collectible house. I don't have that many Xenia. I just did 3 Xenia fragrance reviews. So this is my third one. And the other fragrance I would just show you for review purposes, something I find similar to Code but different, is Mobusan Pour Louis in Black. I'll keep it here as well, just to compare, okay? So Zegna's Intenso, people say similar to Code, but I beg to differ because it doesn't smell exactly like Armani's Code. There are definitely similarities. Same, all these 3 fragrances, all these dark fragrances belong in the same family: dark, night out, sweet, and they have their own differences. Armani's Code, what you're gonna get from the OG. This is my very old bottle. Like this is a kind of semi-vintage bottle. The first vintage used to say Armani Black Code. Okay, so I had reviewed everything from Code. I know Code like backside of my palm, right? So Code is basically a tonka bean, also tobacco, and I think there's something sweet. Okay, oh man, the secret is going crazy with the whistle. Okay, sorry about that. So basically, it's a sweet tonka bean tobacco fragrance with the. I used to feel there's lavender in there, but I think there's just some other elements, and you get kind of like a mandarin orange sweet fruitiness up top, and it's a sweet dark fragrance that could be a signature scent. Back in the days, my father used this. So this is nowadays not that potent. You should go for something like Armani Code, Profumo, or something like Armani Code, a special blend, or something like those like Ultimate. Those are more beast mode of this. So Armani Code was like best fragrance. It got 3 hours back to back, 50 hours for being the best perfume. So this was popular. Nowadays Armani Code not many people wear. Okay, so Armani's Code similarity with this one is what I smell. This one, it's yes, there are definitely similarity, but this is a lot more fruity to my nose and more transparent compared to Code. It's not as powdery or thick. Definitely this is sweet, but you get kind of like a pink pepper mix, a little bit of a fruitiness, a little bit of iris, going on. But I don't detect any much of tobacco in this. This is not a tobacco fragrance, but I think the similarity would be the sweetness, like the darkness, that the tonka bean. There's a little bit of a dry down, a little bit similarity, but I feel this is more wearable and it's more fizzy because the iris makes it really, really lovely. Compared to Code, this is more interesting scent. If you ask me performance wise, this is not like a top dog performer, top shelf performer. For me, I got like 4 hours from it. I'm happy about it. Xenia fragrances, the Uomo also. I think Uomo lasts like, yeah, around 4 to 5 hours. So this house is kind of like an above average performer, not crazy, but performance is not something I would categorize like it's a big deal. So Thomas said this is getting hard to find. If you could get deals, I think back in the days I could get 100 ml of these fragrances like Uomo for $45. Now that's the amount you have to pay for 50 mls, because these are so hard to find. Okay, so price is a little bit expensive. So if you look at the price I paid, almost $40, it's similar to Armani's code. At that point, is it worth it? Yeah, if you see Chad's review, A Gentleman's Journey, he talked about this fragrance with his friend, and he said he found code to be more prominent. His friend said Xenia was more prominent on him. So it differs. Okay, so different skin, different performance, but I think it would be good fragrance for night out. So last comparison remains is this one, Mauboussin Pour Louis in black. This is one of my favorite house. Very criminally underrated. Nobody talks about this house. And I love paying for this fragrance house because they give me quality. Pour Louis, I think, is even more interesting than Code. Okay, why? Because this one they add a caramel or something like gourmand note, which makes it more gourmand sweet version of Armani's Code, makes it more playful, more interesting kind of a fragrance. So all these three fragrances are great and different in their own ways. Performance on Mauboussin is very, very good. Okay, I think it will beat Armani's Code new formulation in the current time. And even Zegna Intenso will beat the performance of current Armani Code, not this one. This is the old version, because the cap, you see there's no band here. These were the old versions. Old version definitely would beat Xenia and Mauboussin both. But the new version Code is so expensive, 100 something dollars. I think you can get Xenia and you can get the Mauboussin for less than Armani's Code price for 100 mil. And I think they'll be really worth it. Okay, take a look at those. And Xenia Intenso, it's a lot of memories, driving up for almost 1.5 hours, paying for parking, about 10 minutes of walk to get to the mall, and just wandering around the blood rush. These are the early days of collecting. Those who just started collecting, they can relate. Or people who started collecting, I do not put that much effort anymore. Still, I get blood rush, but after owning a lot of perfumes, I still get it. But the early days, those are the times, something get released, and you cannot buy everything, right? You didn't have unlimited money, so you have to really save up, and short list out of 10 you have to buy two. These kind of things are the best days of fragrance collection. Any collection, these are the things you remember, without any hesitation, right? So Zegna Intenso is emotion for me in a bottle. After many years, I got this, and what I smell, it's I'll tell you, as a fair review, I would say this is not anything extraordinary or anything unfamiliar. This one you smelled in many fragrances before, but this bottle, sometimes bottles also have stories to tell. I would cherish this bottle. Okay, overall, Zegna Intenso, how much I rate it? I would give it a solid 8. Okay, performance wise, it's kind of like a 7 out of 10, but I still give it 8 because the packaging I love, emotions, and love the way it smells. Perfect fragrance for night outs, early days of cool weathers. This will be perfect. Okay, check it out, Zegna Intenso. Thanks for watching. Let's move on to the second review. Bye bye.